In this question, metallic oxide of zinc, magnesium and copper will be heated with the metals zinc, magnesium and copper. And we have to be check which type of reaction will take place and where the displacement will be take place. The oxides are given in this column: zinc oxide, magnesium oxide and copper oxide, and the reaction with the metals will be there in these three rows, and the metals are given on the top: zinc, magnesium and copper. So to understand the reaction between the oxides and the metal, we have to understand first of all what is the reactivity of these metals. Which metal react more reactive than the other metal? So from the reactivity table of the metals, we can understand that magnesium come in the first of this list because magnesium is highly reactive metal. Potassium, sodium, calcium, and magnesium. Magnesium come on the fourth. So magnesium is highly reactive than other metal. Zinc is less reactive than magnesium but more reactive than copper. So it will be number 2. Copper is less reactive than zinc and magnesium. So that's why it come on the 3. So in these three metals, copper is least reactive. So copper can't displace zinc or magnesium. So that's why copper will not have any reaction with the oxides of zinc, magnesium, not even with the copper oxide. But when magnesium react with zinc oxide, it will be displace the zinc because magnesium is highly reactive than zinc. So in this way the reaction will be take place. And here in the table, when zinc oxide react with zinc, there is no reaction. Why? Because zinc and zinc oxide both are equal reactive. So there will be no reaction take place. But when this zinc oxide react with magnesium, there is displacement occur. Magnesium will be displaced zinc. Why? Because magnesium is more reactive than zinc. So, because magnesium comes on the first in the list of reactivity. When copper react with the zinc oxide, there will be no reaction because copper is less reactive than zinc. On second, when magnesium oxide react with zinc, there is no reaction because zinc is less reactive than magnesium. So it can't displace the magnesium from magnesium oxide. So there is no reaction. But when magnesium react with magnesium oxide, again there will be no reaction because the both metals are equal reactive. So there is no reaction. On the third, when copper react with magnesium oxide, again there will be no reaction because the copper is less reactive than the other two metals, magnesium and zinc. On the third side, copper when react with zinc, zinc is more reactive than copper, so that's why displacement will occur. Same way, when magnesium react with the copper oxide, magnesium will the reaction will be displacement reaction because magnesium is more reactive than copper. So magnesium displaces copper from copper oxide. When copper react with the copper oxide, there is no reaction take place because both metals are equal reactive. So the conclusion is, if we understand the reactivity of the metal and we understand which metal is more active than other metals, we can understand what type of reaction will be take place when their oxide or metal will be react with each other. Next is, which metal do not corrode easily? As we discussed before, metal come in the three categories: first metal, second metal, and third metal. First metal category is the category where the metal are highly reactive, the metal which are not present in free state. Second metals are metal middle reactive. These metals are also not present in free state. Third metals are least active metals. They do not react with the any oxides, sulfides or chlorides. So they come in free state. So three category of metals we have. So the metal which are very least reactive, they will not corrode easily. For example, more reactive metal more likely to be corrode because they react easily. Like sodium, potassium, they even if we put these metal in air, they will catch fire because they react very easily. Iron, zinc, these metal also react easily with the oxygen and water and get crude. But the metal like gold, which is present in free state, which come in the category of least reactive series of metal, these metal do not react with the water or oxygen or air. That's why they are highly resistive to corrosion. So they will not corrode easily. What is alloy? What are alloys? Alloy is basically a mixture. a mixture of two metals or metals and non-metals. The alloy required when we have to protect the metal from the corrosion. We don't want when we don't want the metal to be get crude. We require alloys. Alloys are the solution for protecting the metal from the corrosion. So, how the alloys are formed? Alloys are formed by melting a metal and dissolving the other element, either the metal or either non-metal. Because I told you, alloy can be the combination of two metals or a metal or a non-metal. So first metal for which we want alloy, we will melt it. After that, the another metal or non-metal will dissolve in it, so that the alloy will be formed. And the example of alloy is steel. Steel is the alloy of iron and carbon, where iron is metal and carbon is non-metal. Which of the following pair will give the displacement reaction? The pairs are sodium chloride, where sodium having the positive charge, chloride have the negative charge. Magnesium chloride, where magnesium again have the positive charge, chloride have the negative charge. Iron sulfate and silver nitrate. These three solutions are given to us, and we have to check in which reaction the displacement will be occur. For example, the first reaction is for sodium chloride and copper metal. As I discussed before, to check the displacement, we have to be understand the reactivity of the metals. So, where the metal is more active than the other, the displacement will be occur. Otherwise, there will be no displacement. For example, sodium chloride. When react with the copper, we understand that sodium is second in the list of reactivity. Sodium is highest reactive metal and come in the second in the list of high reactive metals. So sodium will not be get displaced by the copper, because copper come in the middle reactivities series. So that's why there is no displacement occurring there. Next is magnesium chloride. Magnesium, sodium, after that calcium, and after that magnesium. Magnesium come in the fourth in the list of reactivity. So when magnesium chloride react with aluminium, aluminium is come in the middle series or middle activity series. So aluminium will not displace the magnesium from magnesium chloride. So there is no reaction take place. After that, iron sulfate. Iron is more reactive than silver. Silver is less reactive than iron. So silver will not displace the iron from iron sulfate solution. The next is silver nitrate. Silver nitrate and copper. Copper is more active than silver. So that's why copper will displace the silver from silver nitrate solution. So the answer is silver nitrate solution with copper metal will have the displacement reaction. Next is, which of the following method is suitable for preventing an iron frying pan from rusting? Iron being a reactive metal or come in the category of middle reactivity metals can react easily with the water and the air. So that's why it can be get rust. So we have to protect that iron or iron frying pan to be get protected from corrosion. So we have in the following method, either we can apply the grease, either we can apply the paint, or we can apply a coating of zinc, which is known as galvanization. Or we can also use all these four methods. So we have to answer this. Which method we will choose and which method is very best? Either we can apply the grease, either we can apply paint also, either we can apply the zinc coating. So we can use all three of these methods. So answer can be a fourth. But the example is given here for iron frying pan, where we can't apply the paint or grease because the fry pan will be continuously under the effect of heating, boiling, etc. So the grease and paint can be damage the iron because it can be easily removed. But when we apply a coating of zinc on the iron frying pan, it will be not let the iron to be get reacted by the boiling, melting, water, heating, etc. So the answer is third one. We will go for coating of zinc or galvanization of iron, because grease and paint on iron frying pan can be easily removed, and we have to again paint it, we have to again grease it, which is not possible. So that's why for iron frying pan we are usually applying coating of zinc. Otherwise the another article of iron can be painted also, other article of iron can be greased also. Next question is, an element react with oxygen to give a compound with high melting point. This compound is also soluble in water. The element is likely to be calcium, carbon, silicon or iron. The answer is calcium. Why? Because calcium forms the bubbles when it react with the water. So the element is calcium. Food can are coated with tin and not with zinc. Why? Why? Because zinc is highly reactive than tin. So that's why food cones are coated with a tin. Zinc, because zinc is more active than tin. So if we will use uh, some acids, then zinc will be easily react with it. So that's why we are usually use tin rather than zinc to protect it, to protect the food can, so that we will not have any acidic solution in that food can. So that's why it's made of zinc, a tin, not zinc. You are given with a hammer, battery, bulb, wire and switch. How could you use them to distinguish between sample of metals and non-metal? It is very easy. We can distinguish a metal and non-metal by using this hammer, battery, bulb, wire and switch. If the metal, as we all know that metal are good conductor of electricity, but the non-metals are not good conductor of electricity. If we use wire, switch and bulb, battery and a metallic wire, if the bulb will start glowing, that means to say the electricity is passed through this whole circuit. So the wire will be of metal. Otherwise, if the bulb will not glow, then the wire will be made might be of non-metals. So that's why the electricity is not conducted. So we can easily distinguish between the metals and non-metal when we are given with these three or four different things. With the help of hammer, we can beat the sample. This is another one method to find out metals and non-metals. If the metal is getting easily beaten, that is called the malleability of metals. Then it is a metal. Otherwise, it is not a metal because the substance, the material is not getting beaten into the sheets. So that's why it is a non-metal, because it's a property of physical property of metals and non. Similarly, when we use the battery, bulb, wire and switch and we will make a circuit, if the electricity is conducted, then it is a metal, otherwise a non-metal. Third one is, assess the usefulness of this test in distinguishing metal and non-metal. The usefulness of this test, which is based on electricity, is this test does not require any chemical. There is no chemical reaction take place between in this reaction, in this process. So it is chemical free process. That is a benefit. Name the two metal which will displace hydrogen from dilute acid and two metal which will not. Gold and silver, they do not displace because they do not react easily. They do not form salt and hydrogen gas when they react with the dilute acid. Otherwise, sodium and potassium are two metals which can be easily react. They can be displaced, they can be produce hydrogen, or they can even catch fire. They can also form salts. So sodium and potassium are two metals which can be easily displace hydrogen from dilute acids, but two metals which will not do this are silver or copper or gold, which because they are coming in the least reactivity series of metal. In the electrolytic refining of metal M, what would you take as at the anode and cathode? On an anode, we will have the impure metal, and cathode we will have the pure metal. Because cathode is having positive charge, so metal will be attracted toward it, and impurity will be attracted toward positive charge, negative charge anode.